Hello guys, guys and everything else. Another cargo pants video. This time we're covering the bard. Yeah, I'm not. And yeah, for example, once again, we'll first go over just general features that bards just all get for free. Then we'll go, and then we'll go over your muses, then feats, and then we will talk about equipment. But since you're a bard, you don't really need any equipment except just like um, your instrument or something. So we'll talk about your spells instead of equipment. So yeah, Bard, you use charisma for your spells. Use charisma for your spells and your average 8 plus constitution HP. Of course, there are composition stuff like this. Of course, composition cantrips. It's a type of performance. The visual, of course, must be like some sort of auditory maybe or something like this, you know. Maybe either auditory, visual ones. Just think of something, how you perform, and stuff like this. You don't really need to know too much about meta magic. But it just allows you to make your spells better. But just, you use more actions, but to just slightly increase the power of your spells. Now, you just skip this. And now we see that, of course, expert in perception. You're a support, not necessarily a healer, so actually, yeah. Expert in perception, you'll act pretty quickly, maybe even faster than your allies. So yeah. And of course, pretty much like every caster, you're really squishy because of these two, but debuffing you will be really hard. Debuffing you mentally will be really hard because you have expert in will. Sorry, I'm kind of tired. So yeah. You start with training in occultism and performance. Even though you use occultism, you'll probably dump intelligence. So later I will tell you. And you know, not only you have to like your signature skills, but also you have 4 plus your intelligence modifier of skills, which will usually be negative. So yeah, like 3 plus 2 will probably be like 5 skills at the start. And curious thing, in addition to all simple weapons and unarmed attacks, you also have some specific martial weapons like a whip, short sword, short bow, sap, rapier, and longsword. I personally think that the best one of these is like, you know, the short bow, because it actually uses dexterity and stuff like this, and whip. But you know, you probably won't have like a very high athletics. So yeah, and you have a light armor, that's why you dump like intelligence instead of strength probably. And yeah, once again, 18 charisma because it's your most important stat. If you, of course, if you want to like get my stat recommendations, 18 charisma because it's your most important stat. Then all of the saving throw stats, aka Constitution, Dexterity, and Wisdom, should be at 14. Now your strength should be around 10, just so you can wield like light armor without any minuses to that. And yeah. And also 8 in intelligence. But if you want to like dump your armor and stuff like this, then if you want to dump your armor and stuff like this, unless you're playing some sort of bard that wants to sneak around, then probably chain shirt will be a pretty good option for you. If you want to dump strength in favor of having that one more skill. Yeah, spellcasting table. Of course, you have all the normal stuff like this, but you have 4 composition spells. Okay, you know, just like your performance magic essentially. That is your focus spells. You will learn counter performance. Of course, you can see something that allows you to like roll performance. And you know, makes you roll get a better result out of like saving throws. And composition cantrips are essentially things that you can spam once around. And you start with Inspire Courage, which, yeah, +1 to attack rolls, damage rolls, and saves. And it's not even like a circumstance bonus, it's just +1 bonus. So yeah, it stacks with like other spells and stuff like this. So yeah, you will actually probably just spam this every round. And the news, of course, your subclass, we'll be talking about that later. Of course, we skip all the feats and you will get your like reflex will catch up pretty soon. And you get signature spells at level 3, like pretty much everyone. Now, how signature spells work? Yeah. You have 10 levels of spells. Each you can like choose one spell that you will be able to use that spell with spell slots that are higher levels. You will be just able to upcast them without any proper cost or anything like this. Now, more of that with expert spellcaster now. Spell DC and attack rolls to expert. Pretty good at level 7. Great fortitude, expert in fortitude, and resolve, master in will at the same time, because you need to still hold up your like squishy title or something. So of course your fortitude can never catch up to your will. And now Bard weapon expertise. Yeah, you just get expert in all like this stuff. And you get critical specialization if like at least one of your composition cantrips is like working at the time. Now vigilant senses, of course, perception master, pretty good. Light armor expertise, well, that doesn't really need too much of that, you know. Of course, just expert in light and no armor. Weapon specialization, aka the thing that marshals get, usually. Of course, just bonus damage, but you won't get the greater weapon specialization later. Master spellcaster. You've mastered the occult spell attack rolls and DC. At master, of course. Greater resolve. Yeah, will saves at legendary at level 17. Yeah, and on a failure, against the magic will effect, you will take half damage, but mostly your will be probably to resist stupefied condition that will make it harder to cast spells. No, legendary spellcaster, of course, legendary at spellcasting and magnum opus, just level 10 spell slot ability. So yeah, now for your muses. Now Enigma will give you maybe pretty much anything like this, and it gives you True Strike and Bardic lore. You probably won't use True Strike because Occult spell list is not really a spell list that focuses on damage and stuff like this. And Bardic lore is just lore that you can use on anything, but I wouldn't really recommend it. It's still lore, so it uses intelligence, and intelligence won't be probably your favorite thing. Now Maestro, my favorite. It gives you Soothe. That, well, it's a healing spell that allows your bard to be a bit of a healer. And you get Lingering Composition that fixes my biggest problem with the Bard, pretty much, which is that you need to cast Inspire Courage every round. Well, now it will make it so that you won't need to really cast Inspire Courage, and you will be able to like use more actions, and that works on like a lot of your composition cantrips. So yeah, that's pretty good, and you get this spell also added to your spell repertoire for free, which is like one of the best bard spells that I of course recommend. Now, Polymath Bard. Yeah, a jack of all trades or something. Versatile performance, another great fit. At Unseen Servant. Unseen Servant is not really like the best spell, but it can be useful in some situations. Versatile performance though, yeah, it's really good. I mean, you can essentially just use your performance instead of diplomacy, deception or intimidation, and pick all of this pick all of the fits that you would normally pick with that. Yeah, that's a really great fit. That's a really great fit. So yeah, most likely you'll be probably wondering whether or not whether you want polymath and stuff like this to focus on different fits and not only just pick polymath to all be face of the party and be able to focus on different also skills, like also maybe medicine to be still a healer and stuff like this. And warrior, I'm not really like a big fan of warrior bard by myself. You know, for example, just get martial performance, which yeah, just yeah, you just get weapons. You just get weapons as a bard. And I'm going to tell you, it's not really going to be all that useful because you already have a short bow, which is like all the weapons that a bard may like want. A short bow is pretty much everything that a bard may want. Even though you probably have already telekinetic projectile, which will be way better than your short bow. And you get fear, which is another actually great spell. So yeah, now I recommend fits because everyone loves my fits. Now, Hymn of Healing is probably, if you're using, for example, some sort of like, you know, thing to get ancestry and stuff like this, then Hymn of Healing would be really good. And now you see, well, Cargo, you see there's already like lingering composition and martial performance, so you can pick this too. All of this stuff like feats, so why care? Or something like this, like we live in a society, Cargo. And yeah, technically I would tell you that, well, at the first level you cannot pick that. Because, you know, it has a requirement of your muse. So if you try to pick like level 1 feat through some sort of, you know, way, most likely just being a human, Hymn of Healing will be pretty much the best one. Another a composition spell will be able to like heal you out of battle. Will be pretty good. And yeah, now at level 2 you of course can get some sort of all of the like Lord Master stuff like this, you know, of the composition cantrips that are just like composition stuff that is reserved for that. The cool one with Polymath Muse where just like, you know, the text glitched. And, you know, but actually, where is it? Yeah, multifarious muse. Yeah, that's actually my favorite thing. Regardless if you pick, for example, a polymath or maestro, you can just take it and pick the other one. Yeah, so you don't even really need to wonder as long as your campaign starts at level 1. You don't even need to think about which muse you want to pick, because now you have 2 muses. Now you can be both face of the party, and you can also have the lingering composition, so you don't need to like having the boring repetitive combat and to just play Bard optimally. Yeah, that's I think that it is a very good thing. Now, after you get that, yeah, you can pretty much take anything you want. Triple time will be a pretty good cantrip, actually. Triple time will be a pretty good composition cantrip, but like you'll probably just end up, if you like take triple time and stuff like this, you'll probably just end up spamming free composition cantrips every round, which is actually pretty good if you just don't like combat. You'll probably just like, oh yeah, I use free composition cantrips and still manage to be like at my peak usefulness. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. Of course, there's all of the other stuff. Of the other stuff with deep lore and stuff like this. You can of course have like ultimate polymath and stuff like this, harmonize, focus, all the stuff with your perfect anchor that will give you just like another level 10 spell slot, which will be pretty good with pretty much every single one. But personally, okay, that's the most personal choice that I will ever say. That's the most personal choice for Bard that I will ever say. But Head of the Night Parade, yeah, that's my favorite one. It's just 3 actions, and you just cast Mad Monkeys. You just use your perform stuff and just cast Mad Monkeys 3 times, which already it doesn't cost you a spell slot. It doesn't cost you a spell slot, any spell slot to use this. And already, yeah, that's like triple quicken spell, because I think that Mad Monkeys cost you 2 actions, and this costs you 3 actions for 2 Mad Monkeys, so that's like half the cost, half the action cost, and half the other, and half the spell, and like no spell slot cost, and half the other cost. And it just gives you such a cool ability. It's just so cool. Yeah, so yeah, as a spellcaster, Allegro may be also pretty good, but and yeah, of course, pretty much everyone uses quicken casting. I personally like the premise of two Ouroboros, but in action it's not really. It's kind of underwhelming. But sorry if I sounded like Joe Swanson for a moment, but just that's actually pretty great. And yeah, we're at 20 minutes in the moment where we should be like 25 minutes. So yeah, already. Now Bard spells. For Bard spells are just spells from the occult spell list. So yeah, of course, most importantly, Alter Reality at level 10 will be a pretty good spell, of course. And personally, because you're a Bard, of course, just using the kinetic projectile will be pretty good. Now Fear will be pretty good, especially if you upcast it, because Fear is a great effect to do. And yeah, the funny thing is that you can even cheat at gambling, but it won't be probably too much of a useful thing. And over here, okay, so fear. Fear is the most important thing over here. Fear here, yeah, that's really good. Also, Soothe is a pretty good healing option. It's not heal, but it's also a good healing option. Um, I don't know what Scorching Blast is. Oh yeah, that's not really good, I think, but just Soothe and Fear are two great spells. These are like great spells that you should actually, I think, use. And Animate Rope is also like a very cool. It's a very cool thing. It's like such a creative spell. So yeah, out of like level 1 spells, these are like the most important ones. And with the other stuff, Shatter may be also a pretty good damaging option if you actually want to play Bard that deals damage. But yeah, also once again, like Alter Reality, as I said before, will be a pretty good one. And you know, maybe Summon Entity can also work pretty well. But most important ones will be probably just like the buffing spells, like Mask of Terror maybe also. Mask of Terror, yeah. Especially if you upcast it to like 8th level. And yeah, just all of the spells that do fear. These are good. And also, yeah, Soothe is also good just if you want to heal your allies. And yeah, the other one. And for cantrips, of course. As I told you before, cantrips will be most likely just Mage Hand because it's really useful. And also telekinetic projectile. It deals pretty good damage. Like compared to all the other stuff, it deals pretty good damage. Just telekinetic projectile is like the second electric arc, I think. Yeah, Mage Hand, of course, because it's pretty good. Also, I would also recommend that you take, for example, Forbidding Ward. But of course, this is just my tutorial. Just remember, guys, girls, and everything else, and pretty much everything. Just remember, guys, try to find your own path with Freaks of Nature.